What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Friday, NBA Talk with Jay. We're here with my guy, Michael Fiddle. He's gonna let us know what he's liking today in the NBA. First off, Fiddle, how you doing, my brother? Everything cool with you?
Doing well. What do we got? Like 10 games tonight? Some pretty decent games on today's card. So we were looking on some pretty terrible games this week. So I actually think there's a few decent spots worth talking about. OKC versus Houston, a nice little 1-2 battle in the West. You got Denver versus Golden State, a game and a half apart in the standings. And obviously things like, Sacramento and Charlotte, everyone is very excited for.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of. So I'm with you. There's a few good games, but we do have like 5 games, 6 games with double-digit spreads as well versus teams. No, what is that? 7 games. So 2, 3, 4, 7 games with double-digit spreads here, Fiddle. Any one of them that you don't really have much on it, you rather not talk about.
At this point, Clippers, Mavericks, probably not worth talking about considering all the injury news that came down, and it's pretty much just priced out. Clippers stuff is taking a 10. Huh?
What's the injury news with the Mavs Clippers?
I think it's lively. I think AD's on the wrong side of questionable. I think PJ Washington stuff. So that line moved from 6.5 to 10.5. I just don't think that's really playable anymore. And then I would say the same thing for Trailblazers and Bulls. It was Bulls minus like 3.5 or 4. You're now to like 6.5 because the Blazers have every single player doubtful on the second night of a back-to-back. So it's like Kamara, Grant, Scoot, Simons, they're all doubtful right now. So I would say if I were going to skip any two, Bulls, Blazers, and Clippers, Mavericks.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so it looks like it says Simons and Henderson them are pretty much game time decisions. I know Simons hadn't been playing, but who knows? I mean, Blazers don't really they're not out of the play-in, whatever, but who fucking knows? But let's go over to the streets of Indiana here, Fiddle, if you want to talk about this one. Pacers land 16. Well, we have a team that's playing for something versus a team that's not. Unfortunately, with how big the spread is, you could get something like a Magic versus the Wizards yesterday, where they're laying a huge number, but it's a game that doesn't really matter to them. Like, they don't really need to put their foot to the metal, the pedal to the metal. You know what I mean? So these aren't the type of games that I want to get in front of. I know it's Pacers or nothing for me, but the only problem is what happens when they let their foot off the gas and notice, like, all right, we don't have to play as hard versus this team. So do you have anything on this Pacers versus Jazz spot, my brother?
Played the over early. It's moved too much. I would not still play it at 238.5, 239. So over or nothing, Pacers or nothing, probably both priced out and worth moving on.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. Maybe even taking Pacers team total over in that one. Let's go over to the streets of Charlotte. Hornets getting 11 at the house versus the Kings. Kings coming off a loss versus the Wizards, stunned everybody. I think they were laying like 13.5. I mean, Kings don't deserve to be laying these type of numbers on the road, man. Like, I know that they're the better team. We know that they're going up against a tanking team. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games and 6-2 against the spread over that span as well. Fiddle, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, Kings are playing like absolute buns, but they should crush the Hornets tonight. Like, I haven't bet it. I won't be betting it. I won't be watching it. I'll be doing anything else with my time on a Friday night at 7 p.m. Right? Kings or nothing has to still be the spot with LaMelo out for the season. It's really like Bridges and Seth Curry running their whole offense, and like Tijon Salon and like all these guys getting ridiculous minutes. It's not even the guys that you want to like get and develop in Charlotte. Like, you want some man to take the ball, like Nick Smith Jr., but like it is really like tough sledding with Seth Curry running a lot of the offense. So Kings are nothing because I just think the Hornets are just going to have such a tough time putting up points. And we've already seen that total go from 221 down to 216.5. So major under movement. I think it's a representation that the Hornets are going to really struggle to score.
Yeah, I agree with the under movement as well, because the Kings were playing some really great defense before that game versus the Wizards. Before that, well, I mean, they gave up 121 versus the Magic, but I still look at them as a defensive team. The under in Kings games were 6-1 to the under in their last 7 games. You look at the Hornets, pretty much 4 straight unders for them as well. So some respected money, sharp money coming in on the under here. I agree with it as well. Also could be a spot where Hornets team total stays under the total as well. Let's go over to the streets of Boston here, Fiddle. Celtics land a big number versus the ass We're not even calling them the buns. They don't even get a UNS. The ass. So the Suns are. It's just so tough, Fiddle, because like the Suns were like they're still not out of the play-in tournament, but they don't even care about it. Lost 4 straight. 0-5 against the spread last 5. We know that they've had a tough schedule, but they're just not showing any fight. They did show some fight versus the Bucks, but still didn't cover the spread. But it's like those games versus the Wolves versus the Celtics when they just played them at home. The Wolves and the Rockets, where they just pretty much just get blown out from start to finish. Man, I want no parts to do with the Suns in this one. Celtics are in a bounce back spot, coming off a home loss as a favorite. This is their spot. Celtics or nothing. Simple. You don't want any part of the Suns, Fiddle. What are you doing?
Celtics are nothing, over or nothing in this
Definitely
spot. 226 at DraftKings. Bradley Beal off the injury report. Jaylen Brown questionable for the Celtics. Jay, I've been liking doing this thing with Jaylen Brown when he's questionable or out, you're going to see the line drop. I actually like playing the over and kind of fading that news because he's one of their best defenders, albeit Drew and Derek White being great too and having some rim protection, but he's integral to their defense. And he's also not been shooting with the same efficiency this season.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
when he gets replaced and it's fucking Sam Hauser, Baylor Shireman, Peyton Pritchard, and all those guys getting more minutes, you get worse defense and you get guys who are just going to stay on the three-point line and shoot 37% from 3 with quick releases and high volume. So I would only look towards the over, especially in that bounce back spot, especially with Bradley Beal coming off. Numbers wise, like if you just run a model based on these teams this year, it should be around 233. Yeah. Now it's 6 points lower because Kevin Durant is going to be out. I don't think he's worth that much. I think this is still an obvious over spot. 226, best line to the over at DraftKings.
Well, I do think that KD is worth that much, but the whole thing is the Suns aren't playing defense, so it doesn't fucking matter. KD definitely means that much to their offense, but they're giving up so much on the other end. That's why it doesn't matter, and their games are likely still going to sail over. That's why the Suns are so ass right now. They want no parts of playing defense. Like when you give up a 148 to the Rockets, that's bad. You know
I have a feeling like 2 or 3 people in the NBA are actually worth 5 or 6 points.
Well, KD is one of those guys, like to a total. So to the spread, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 points, but I mean,
yeah, he's also a decent defender, KD, right?
Yeah,
and you get Beal back, and you always have to consider replacement options. Like Grayson Allen is back and playing, so he's like a offense only player type of guy who's going to be high shooting. So it's like at least you're going to get those minutes replaced not only by Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro, because if that were the case for AD, he might be worth fucking 12 points to a total.
No, it's a fact. LJ's my guy. LJ, he texts me this too, man. So I kind of like 20 unread messages or unreplied messages. My guy says trend alert. Celtics. I know he texted me this yesterday. He was saying it's a good spot for the Celtics. They're 10-0 straight up, 7-3 against the spread, coming off a home loss when they have another home game in the next game. So our guy LJ with a nice trend there says back the Celtics in the bounce back spot, and I know I want no parts of the Buns. The Phoenix ass in this game, man. Let's go over to the streets of Toronto here, man. I'll probably never bet futures again, Fiddle. I'm so pissed, man. This shit happened to me last year with Malik Monk with 6 man of the year. He got injured towards the end of the year, stopped playing, and then they let Nas Reed get the 6 man of the year after Monk was leading the race all fucking year. Now Cade Cunningham is probably not going to win most improved player because his fucker sat out like the last 5 or 6 games, man. It's almost like he doesn't even want the fucking most improved player, which shout out to Dyson Daniels. He is, you know what I'm saying, definitely one of the most improved players, but Kate's been winning this award all year, man. It just, shit fucking pisses me off, but whatever. Pistons lane 11 here, Fiddle. I need Kate to come back and get a fucking 60-point triple-double every game for the rest of the season, but what are we doing here? You like anything spread or total?
I'll get into that in 1 second. Let me reemphasize this. Fuck futures betting. It's pointless. Awards betting sucks. I get burned on that stuff all the time. I had the same ticket, Jay. I had Wemby DPOY, and that was minus 3,000 before he was ruled out for the year. And now it's like Draymond or Jaren or Dyson Daniels in the mix or Lou Dort coming. Like, don't bet Lou Dort. Awards betting sucks. It's so frustrating. It's not profitable. It's not a good betting market long term. It's not worth tying up your money. Often people in content space like to talk about that stuff because it does make for great discussion. It does make for great content. It is not good for your betting portfolio. There's a reason why sharp books don't even offer those types of markets and award. Like, they don't even price them because the sharpest people don't even bother betting them. In terms of this game, Jay, maybe an over in this spot. Detroit versus Toronto, it's come down a few points. I can only think to go the other direction now, but this is, to me, is another don't bet it, don't watch it, but resoundingly agree not to bet awards markets in the future.
Yeah, it would be a nice Raptor spot if they weren't in a back-to-back third game in 4 nights, 4th and 6. This is their spot. They cover these spreads at the house, especially big double-digit spreads as well. We know that the Pistons coming off. Now, the reason why I wouldn't bet the Raptors here because they are off a back-to-back. They're not really interested in winning games. Let's see who they played yesterday because they're doing this thing where they'll toggle. Damn, I hadn't said that word and probably shit. It ain't no telling, bro. But they toggle resting quickly and Podol, however you want to say his name, and RJ Barrett as well. So whoever played yesterday is not going to. So it looks like they rested quickly and Podol yesterday, and Barrett played. So now it's going to be the opposite. Quickly and Podol should be back. We don't know it for sure because this is a tanking team that doesn't necessarily want to win games. But another thing, Fiddle, something to notice around these times when their record is so different than the other ones where it's like a win or a loss doesn't really make a difference, that's when they can actually play their guys. So
play their guys, actually try, play decent minutes, like prioritize development. Like these teams that want to run a lot of pace, you're actually going to see them do it when they don't care. Like they were slowing down these games previously. So yeah, I completely agree.
But the Pistons, while they are off 2 straight losses and they're going to be motivated for this game, they do have somewhat of a bigger game tomorrow versus the Memphis Grizzlies at home as well. So be interesting. I'll probably watch this game to see because if the Pistons go balls to the wall, could possibly be a phase spot for them tomorrow. But need to see what's up with Cade as well. But Raptors have been covering in this spread all season long, man, for whatever reason. Like they're the second best ATS team in the league. And when they're a home dog, getting a bunch of points, that's their spot, man. I would be bet against them today, but I also on the other end, if the Pistons come in this game pissed off, like this last time they lost 2 straight, they smoked the fucking Pelicans by 46 points, like with ease. And from start to finish, they were up 30 in the second quarter. So that's the thing you worry about with the Pistons here. Coming off 2 games versus the Wolves and Thunder, let's just say that they're a huge step down at competition here. Fiddle, let's get to this one, man. Thunder, laying 6 on a road versus the Rockets. Game of the day for sure. Line opened up 5.5, went up to highest. Thunder -7, down to 6. The Thunder have been covering spreads like it's nobody's business. Why the fuck is the spread coming down here, Fiddle? And Dylan Brooks is out for the Rockets as well.
Because these numbers are incredibly important. The 6 is the most common outcome in the NBA. So when you have this number and the movement around these numbers, there's going to be fights for it. And to be honest, Jay, let you a little bit behind the curtain and your people watching behind the curtain. I got 2 different texts from some very sharp people. One of them told me OKC at 5.5, and one of them told me Houston at 6.5. So there's genuinely a fight between the sharpest people on the number, and therefore the correct price is going to be 6. This is why we learn. This is why we say that as we get closer to tip-off, you get the sharpest numbers, the closest representation of 50-50 on each side. You get the injury reports most known. You get the betting market able to price gauge the smartest people. And I could tell you for damn certain, there's some very smart people out in early OKC, and there's some very smart people who are very good at this and win long-term and don't have any other job and don't do anything in content or anything like that are texting me going on different sides of this game. So seeing the number at 6, this is the game I want to watch. I'll use a curse word for me, but a word that's allowed around here. I lean towards the OKC Thunder.
Hey, I mean the Thunder. I mean, why are you motherfuckers betting against the Thunder, man?
Can I ask you one thing, Jay?
Yeah.
Have you seen the way that the Thunder are playing recently? Like they're doing something that's starting to piss me off. They've been doing it all season. Well, what they're doing recently is I feel like some of the guys that don't shoot as many threes are starting to shoot more threes. And it's creeping me out a little bit. Like SGA's 3-point attempts are going up. Hartenstein's 3-point attempts are going up. No. And I'm almost wondering if they're trying to get those guys more shots so that come playoff time when people let those guys shoot, they're going to be more ready for it. And we even had last year around this time in the NBA calendar, the coach Mark Dagnall did this thing where he switched SGA and J-Dub in their rotation one game. And all of a sudden, J-Dub is running point. He's running the first unit, and SGA is playing with the second unit. And they come out of the game, and they ask him after, they're like, why'd you do that? And he's like, we need to stay a moving target, and we need to stay ready for the playoffs, and we need to prepare for different situations. So I wanted to get J-Dub in this role. I wanted to get SGA. And I'm almost wondering if they're starting to change roles, getting ready for the playoffs. And therefore, I'm a little bit hesitant to actually take them to cover a number. So I do understand that Houston, if they're playing a little differently right now and testing things, then I would want Houston.
They testing shit out on motherfuckers, bro. That's tough.
Yeah, they don't care. They're doing this double big. They go small. They have the best defense in the league regardless. They're incredible.
They running test runs on motherfuckers out here. They practicing on y'all ass and still done won 11 straight and cover 11 straight, bro. That's tough.
It's unbelievable.
That's tough right there. We testing shit out on y'all and still covering the spread, man. They go and face the Pistons, still go and win by 16 and cover that 13-point spread. I'm not going anywhere near betting against the Thunder. They got a couple big games up versus the Lakers. They've locked in the number 1 seed, man, but just the way that they play, they can lock in defensively, man. The way that they shoot threes, just really a scary team, man. So shout out to the Thunder. It's to the point where it'll be a bust of a season if the Thunder don't win the championship this year.
I agree. Someone mentioned when we were having the futures conversation that the one future they had was OKC to win the Western Conference. Like that one, I actually completely agree with. I think that OKC is going to make it through the West more easily than any team in the East. And then I just looked up the Hartenstein stats. He's averaging less than a 3-point attempt per game, but he's attempted a 3-pointer in 3 of the last 4 games. So like something's going on. Like it's you're definitely seeing him just hang around the perimeter, starting to shoot a little bit, and just like, they're still probably going to smack the Rockets in the mouth. 12 straight.
Definitely gonna happen. The thing about the Rockets is they can bring the defense and bring the playoff atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing is when they're going up against a really great defense, they're off. That's when you see the real Rockets and their offense can struggle to score. So most of the team, 80% of the teams in the NBA, the Rockets can just out hustle them, out muscle them
up. You can't beat up
them up. Exactly. But the Thunder do everything that the Rockets do better, and the offense is light years better. So I want no parts of this one. If I wanted Rockets, I definitely need Dylan Brooks into this game to try to fuck shit up and get in SGA head or pitch somebody off. You know what I'm saying? Right. So without their villain, Dylan Brooks here,
nothing.
Yeah, I'm off this game. What do you think about under? Because I think it could be potentially a playoff.
Definitely would go. Would I mean? We've seen this line crash today from 231 down to what is it now? The best line you can get is 228.5 minus 115 at BetMGM or minus 110 at Fanatics. I would absolutely do that. And like circa right now, 227.5 minus 110s both ways. So if you could play, if you have a Fanatics, I can't bet at Fanatics. They'll take $6 from me. But if you could play there and grab
12,
huh?
I can bet $12.
Oh, really? We should combine forces and get them for a full 18.
Man, I delete that shit off my phone. Fuck them. I used to bet a lot.
I don't even use it. I don't use it anymore either. It's not worth my time. I used to think you should still bet through limits and just keep betting.
Yeah. Try to take them for what you can.
Take them for what you can, or just like, like hope that you get, it drops or you could get more money down eventually or whatever. Like I've
never seen a limit increased, Fiddle. Never.
I've seen it where like, so I think this conversation is too, like, I'll have it with you, but I really don't like having it I won't tweet about it. I won't really get too involved with it with someone else because like it's so hostile, the whole limits conversation. And there's so many people who are just like such strong fucking takes about like, this is the way it works. It's like, I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to me. Like, obviously I've had it happen to me on plenty of accounts, and then you have to get player 2s and whatnot. But like, that's a whole nother conversation. But sometimes I'll bet, the night before and an overnight and get limited to XYZ amount. And then I'll come back to the same line in the morning and be able to get whatever I want down on it. And it's just like it's sometimes the time of the market. It's sometimes betting into props, you're not going to get down as much. Getting in the liability matters a lot more. Like I'll bet into a future, but if I grab a 30-1 future, I'm not putting, like, they won't take a few $100s from me and have a liability of thousands. On the other side, like there was a when LeBron was scoring 40K or whatever, was going to break the scoring record. There was like a minus 145 future on what date he was going to be able to do it. I was able to put $5,000 on it, right? Because the liability for the book becomes $2,000. So I think there's just so much misinformation that gets talked about in terms of time that you're betting, market which you're betting, liability, and all these things. And so, for the most part, limits are not worth discussing, but fanatics, they could go F themselves because it's $6 and it's really just not worth anyone's time. Under 228.5 Thunder Rockets.
I'll say one thing. DraftKings has to be the worst fucking sportsbook out there. They limit me even at the casino, which is like unheard of. It should be illegal. I'm supposed to be just a regular guy going there to bed. Every casino has facial recognition, but it's like they notice me coming in. Sometimes I have to go in there with a hood. Well, you're not supposed to wear your hood, but I'll put it on while I'm at the kiosk with a fucking face mask and glasses on so I can try to be incognito. There's been times where I could just try to put in you're supposed to be able to bet $500 at the kiosk. They'll say you can bet like $250. I'll try to do the $250 and then they'll just reject the wager. This is from a fucking betting kiosk. This should be criminal. All right. We like the under. Let's go to the streets of San Antonio. Spurs getting 13 at the house versus the Cavs. This line was at 14 and a half yesterday, Fiddle. Spurs at the crib, a win or loss. They're at the point of the standings where I don't even think a loss would even fucking like a win or a loss would even hurt them, Fiddle. What do you like in this particular game? While I take a look at this thing.
Don't like much, but again, we'll mention that I do definitely know some sharp people on the over. 241 is the best line available for this game, so I'm not going to play it. It's definitely been increasing. You definitely have this Cavaliers offense that could just put up 130 on anyone. The Spurs playing incredibly fast pace, so I can only look over, and Cavaliers or nothing. But I got nothing for that one.
Yeah, and so at 32 wins, even if the Spurs got to 33, they pretty much what I'm saying is they have another. So they have room for like one more win because the next team. Or the Blazers at 34 and then the Bulls at 34. So what that means, guys, with these tanking teams, they don't want to have more wins than another team. So if they're like tired or some shit like that, they're going to make sure that they don't want to get more. But in this particular instance, the Spurs are pretty much locked into their chances for whatever bullshit they're doing, Fiddle. Once I crack this fucking code, there's going to be money to be made with this tanking shit, man. But because some of these teams literally don't want to get like they don't want to win. They don't want to get it to a certain amount of wins. It's all about the best draft position. So when it's
playing the money lines and fading them, right? Because the spreads are still going to be representative of like what a model is going to be, and then the money line is going to be representative of what the spread on that price is. And then it's like, no, the team doesn't want to win. So if they get close, they're just going to duck the win and blow it at the end. Last thing, Jay, as I forgot to tell you this regarding the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
You left Buckets. You had your last show on Buckets the other day. I went on Buckets the next day and said, "Ode to J Money, OKC trifecta is my spot."
Oh,
and they came through for us. So it was
all three cash trifecta.
Yeah, all three cashed.
Nice trifecta J, man. I've been looking for him. I don't know where the fuck he.
Where's trifecta J?
I don't know, bro.
Where is that? Where's that guy? That sharp out there.
I don't know, man. I gotta find his ass though, man. Those are the days when them trifecta spots were hitting heavily, man. I'm sure somebody in the chat remember those days. But let's get over here. Yeah, I got nothing. Spurs, Cavs, I got nothing. I know that the Cavs, the game doesn't really mean as much to them. Could they still blow out the Spurs? You're damn right. But I feel like their defense is probably going to slip a little bit. They're not trying to risk injury. They're locked into their spot. Like there's nothing really to play for at this point for the Cavs. That's why I think the spread is probably starting to come down. So they're noticing like, hold on, this is a huge number to be laying on the road in a meaningless game for the favorite here. Let's go over here to the streets of Chicago. Bulls land 6 at the house versus the Blazers. I know if Simons doesn't play, Fiddle, I know it's gonna be tough for the Blazers to keep up here offensively. Simon, Scoot, Kamara, they're gonna need all three of them if they want to stay with the Bulls in this one. Fiddle, what are you doing here?
I played Bulls money line minus 200. It's minus 230 now. I know people hate when I do that, but I think it's just tough to lay the amount of points, like you said, for the Pistons, like laying 11 on the road. You did it the other day with Memphis yesterday with only -4, and you're like, I don't want to lay the points, took the money line instead. This was one of those spots. I do think you could still probably play the spread and gain closing line value before this tips off, because everyone on the Blazers is seemingly going to be ruled inactive right now on their doubtful list. Tumani Kamara, Sidi Sissoko, Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson, Duop Reith, Anthony Simons. So I'm literally expecting every single one of them to be ruled out. And then we just got the upgrade of Lonzo Ball from present at shoot-around, upgraded to questionable. Seems like Lonzo's going to play and be on some sort of minutes limit, but he's fantastic in his role, and I trust him even on a minutes limit coming back from this little injury. So Bulls money line, I think you could look Bulls -6. I do think it's going to close at 6.5 or 7. Bulls are nothing.
Yeah, and then if you do like the money line, you can always try to parlay it with something else as well, something else that you love. But that's if you don't want the juice. It's all. But when it's me and Fiddle, sometimes we don't mind the juice. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go over. Yeah, I agree with that though. I definitely think the Bulls should win this game. Blazers coming in off of back-to-back. I mean, if they're not going to make the play-in, they probably might as well want to keep their win at 34. Like they probably want to keep their wins somewhere around 34 or 35. If they're not going to make the play-in, they want to keep that solidify, you know what I mean, the worst possible record, if that makes sense. This is the other game of the day. Let's go over to the streets of Golden State. Warriors laying 1 versus the Nuggets in this one. It's a really great spot for the Warriors yesterday. Triple revenge spot versus the Lakers. Now they're back at the house coming off of a 5-6 game road trip here. Problem is, Nuggets had all 5 of their fucking guys out last game and the main starter as well, Peyton Watson. Do you think the Nuggets guys play? What do we do in this game, bro? The line's been all over the place. A line opened up Warriors -3, went as high as Nuggets -2.5. Now we're seeing Warriors -1 as well. Nuggets have won 9 straight versus the Warriors.
So that's all based on the injury report stuff. It opens Nuggets +3 because you have Jokic, Porter, Murray, Gordon, Brown, all questionable, whatever. A lot of them are probable. MPJ is off the injury report altogether. It looks like the only one that's really still questionable is Jamal Murray, but it looks like Brown, Jokic, Gordon, all definitely going to go. And then you had the reason why it went out to Nuggets -2 or 2.5 or whatever it was mid-game in the Warriors last night. Steph Curry falls and he lands on his pelvic injury, and you could literally see the camera zooming in because he's wearing some kind of butt pad these days underneath his shorts. And so
he got on an ass pad.
He's got on the ass pad, and so
the Jazz sent him that.
They show Curry sore and hurting a little bit, and so it's is he going to play the second night of a back-to-back? Is he going to need to check himself out in this spot? He ends up playing the rest of the game. He ends up being totally okay, and then we know after the game they're 1.5 games apart in the standings, with this being a full game because they're going against each other, right? Sometimes you have half game spots if they're one team's not playing and the other team gets a win. This is worth a full game. So essential. So obviously I'm expecting all of the Warriors guys to go. I still like the Nuggets because of the PBL. I still like the Nuggets because of that's iconic. The Nuggets because of Jokic. He's just that's what kills this Warriors team is an elite scoring big. And so we just saw that when they went up against Towns earlier. The reason why the Warriors were 0-3 against the Lakers had a lot to do with Anthony Davis being there in the past. So the elite scoring big is what gets to the Warriors. Draymond DPOY, but he struggles when there's a 7'2" guy who could do whatever he wants against him. So Jokic is going to dominate. And I would play the Nuggets, but I'd probably wait and play that pre-tip because you will get plus money and stuff on Nuggets side.
Man, bro, say he broke a butt cheek. Broke a butt cheek off next Friday. Yeah, it's Nuggets or nothing. I'm telling you that right now. I don't like the spot for the Warriors. We're at this point of the season. Teams coming back home off the road trip. I know that they were already in Cali, but they probably didn't go to the house. They probably just went to LA. It was all right, well, but you coming off a 6-game road trip, back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights. It's a road home back-to-back. Horrible spot for the Warriors, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I think this is a scheduled loss, and they probably should rest their guys. If you really want to try and if the Warriors think they're going to win a championship this season and really go for it, if there's a spot where there's a scheduled loss, rest your guys, man. Rest your guys. But I hope they don't do it. If Nuggets are as plus money, I would take that, my guy, especially coming off a couple of horrible losses as well. Nuggets have not looked well. No one's going to want parts of them. Fiddle 3-7 straight up and against the spread last 10. They win this game. A couple more. You don't want Lakers Pelicans. Did you have anything?
No.
Nothing. Over, nothing, or what? Pelicans team total under? What's the team total under for the Pelicans?
I could look it up right now. What's the total up right now? I have my model has a 221.4.
221.
Yeah, nothing. On the second night of a back-to-back like that no.
You just worry about if the Lakers are going to play enough defense because they know they can win. Here's the Pelicans' last 3 games, point total. 98, 98, 95. I don't think they get to 100 in this one.
I could look up the team total.
It has to be somewhere like 102 and a half, 103 and a half, something like that.
102 and a half minus 110. J Money's done this, 1 or 2 times in his life.
Yeah, it's quick math with the favorite.
Best available line towards the under is a 103.5 minus 106 to the under at FanDuel.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, the only thing you worry about is the Lakers kind of taking a step back, knowing that they can win this game with just their offense. But if they come in with just even a little bit locked in on defense,
yeah,
Pelicans,
I think they will. I think I like that. Bro. I think it's a
Pelicans
good
missing fucking everybody, bro. You got Jose Alvarado that's got to run the offense. What the fuck are we doing? They don't get to 100 points in this game. All right, Clippers, Mavs, you wanted nothing?
I took early Clippers, and now it's just priced out because it's moved 4 points.
Yeah, no, Clippers are nothing. Mavs are getting a lot of points if they were playing everybody. But let me see. Is it the first game of back-to-back for the Mavs?
You look that up. I'll look up there. Right now, Anthony Davis, questionable.
Damn, they play the Clippers again. They play the Clippers again tomorrow. Yeah. So we know Anthony Davis is not playing back-to-back. So if they're going to fuck with us. If they're on the injury report, they're probably not playing today. Lively or Anthony Davis will not play a back-to-back. Also,
Lively's already out.
So if they're saying that today, then that means that they're going to go for their win.
Well,
tomorrow.
that also makes complete sense, right? Because if they're playing the back-to-back, then Kawhi is going to miss the game tomorrow, and he's off the injury report today. So the Mavs like trying to isolate one spot because they just want to hold the 500 record. They're going to isolate tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's really Look for Mavericks at open when these lines come out for tomorrow, because you also get the baked-in like factor of like if the game's going on, then take the Mavericks at the open, because like what if James Harden gets hurt? What if Zubac gets dinged up? What if Derrick Jones Jr. or Norman Powell or anything happens, when you know the guys for the Mavericks are sitting and going to be healthy the next day and coming back, whereas and Kawhi is going to be out the next day too. So really like that spot. Clippers today, but if you miss the line movement, it's Mavericks early for tomorrow.
Yeah, and my guy Joseph Alvarado says, yes, I'm on my way to LA right now. Hopefully he's not. He's trying to act like he's Jose Alvarado. I was about to say he's on the Pelicans. He can play well, you couldn't be heading to LA. You'd have to be in there already. But don't wear your chains. I'll tell you that right now. Don't wear anything that seems of value in LA. They're gonna rob your ass. But just thought I'd tell you that. But let's get out of here, Fiddle. What you like for today, my brother? What leans do you have now? I'm fucking with you. Lean with it, rock with it, lean with. Oh man, those was the days. Fabo, what you like, Fiddle?
Nuggets. I would take money line. What was the one that we said? Bulls money line as well. It's tough sledding right now. You gave out better ones than me today.
Yeah, I mean, there's some
good spots. Celtics over. Suns Celtics over.
Yeah.
That one's good. 226 DraftKings.
Everything you mentioned, I think is gonna cash, man. Honestly, it's a lot of double-digit spreads, a lot of BS games. That's probably when you want to look to some totals, some overs, a little bit less defense these days. But I agree with all of your plays, Fiddle. Not gonna lie to you. I agree with every single one of them. So definitely keep an eye on that Mavs Clippers spot for tomorrow. That's something like literally ahead of the spread for tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So if you want, it should be Clippers today, Mavs tomorrow. That should be the script.
Can I get the number for it real quick so people can know what it's gonna be at? Yeah, it should be around. It should be around Clippers. You should try and get around Mavericks plus 5.5 or 6.
Yeah, plus 6. Yep. That's basically the same spread that opened today. Pretty much.
Probably a little bit less, but yes.
And then a little J Money sprinkle on the Mavs money line.
And then we're gonna push it so that this number closes at like Mavericks plus 3.5, and we're holding a 5.5, and we're like, that's caked.
They're gonna win outright tomorrow.
Yep.
So don't take the game too serious today, guys. Get smacked by 20 and then save your energy for tomorrow when there's no Kawhi. You got AD and Lively back, and then you can smack their ass up.
Look for the under at the open too, because if AD and Lively both get ruled in and Kawhi out, that number is going to drop also. You could also probably parlay Mavericks plus under when those lines open and get enough CLV on both of them where the book will offer you a plus money cash out on your parlay before the game even starts. That's when you know you got the bookies in a bind.
That's a fact. B Daddy likes Clippers, Dallas Clippers under a total. He likes the Jazz Pacers over, and he likes the Celtics to lay the smackdown on the Buns, on the Phoenix ass. That's the show, my guys. We got to get out of here, man. It's all love. You guys came through, want to listen to us talk about these games. Hit the like button one time for the one time. We appreciate you for tuning in. Nuggets taking the Warriors to Smack City, and let's get some cash with these plays, and then we kind of gave you a head of one for tomorrow as well. We appreciate Fiddle for coming on. Go follow him on his Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, at Fiddle's Picks. It's all love. Y'all drink some water. Go get a fucking workout in, and me and my son's team needs to go 2-0 once again. One time for the one time. We're facing a team that's 6-0 in the league, and that's all the fucking motivation we need.
They're 6-1 next week, all right? When we're talking on Monday, they're fucking 6-1.
Come on. We out.